Welcome to the Total Respect Show. Today I'm joined by Welsh wrestler and manager Johnny James. How are you doing, John?
Good to see you again, mate.
It's been a long time. Thank you for coming on, and let's check Johnny out in action.
System.
Alright folks, we are back! More chaos! And making his way out soon will be the CWMD, who is in for one hell of a kicking! Look at it, the full system wins! We're back! Big bang to Johnny James is out here!
6 months in the making. I have waited for this match.
Johnny James, Chris Tricks, CW Heavyweight Champion Chris Winkle, CW Interactive Champion, Tommy Dean and Tyler Brown, one of other title.
He hangs about.
Especially tough as well.
Who did you say was that?
So charged body for that. You don't treat the fans that way.
The managing director of to make sure nobody comes to take you back.
Well, Pebbleweight looks set to clean Johnny James's clock tonight, finally. After weeks, months, days.
He deserves. You deserve the next
Oh, that gut
in that stupid.
So give me a beer. Oh, what? Woo! He's got the steel beer.
That you just can't beat the system.
I'm not sure what's so great about it, but
It has a cathedral. Other people just call it that place. Nobody likes to go.
no,
And at the end of the day, Sugar, you see, class, like me, always shines through. Go!
Talking about how rough the people really are in this place. I had to turn up so I could witness it myself. And I'd just like to say that each of you people are every bit as rough, every bit as ugly, every bit as stupid, and every bit as uneducated as he told me you were. Shut up! He ain't no retard!
Right, there's a clip of Johnny in action over there, and thanks for coming on today, John. And
It's alright, mate. It's always a pleasure, never a chore, as they say.
it's been a long time since we've seen each other. Could be 10 years, eh?
Yeah, it probably is, isn't it?
About
Maybe
10
maybe
years.
even over 10 years.
Could be longer as well, like.
Life just flies past,
But
doesn't it?
how's COVID been anyway? How have you?
It's been alright. It's one of those things where you know, everybody's had their sort of struggles. I feel like I've been quite lucky. My work has been really good to me as well.
Yeah.
So I personally I can't complain. But
what job are you doing these days?
I work for a bank. I won't say which bank, but I work for
Yeah.
a bank. I work in the collections department, so it's sort of like trying to get people who are
right,
in financial trouble back into health, I suppose.
Yeah.
Help them out if we can.
Well, at least you're still active, innit? Right,
Yeah.
like most interviews, let's go back to the beginning.
Yep.
Where was you born and how was your childhood growing up?
So I was born in as I called it on the announcement, the great city of Llandaff, or the city within a city, as they call it.
Yeah.
And growing up, how do I describe growing up? I mean, it's so much different than what it is now. You know, you see sort of like, you know, being out playing in the streets and,
Yeah.
you know, setting fire to things.
Yeah. It's a bit rougher down in Cardiff, isn't it, to some other places, like, but was it alright where you lived?
No, but Llandaff is it's one of the, I suppose, posher areas of Cardiff, and
right.
I went to the Llandaff City Church in Wales school, so
Yeah.
so a church school. So you know, you had to go to the local cathedral and pretend that you were religious so that they let you in.
So did you do any sports in school at all?
So I was a bit rubbish at sport. I think until I was about 14 years old, I wasn't that interested. So my main school, which was Westbourne, they used to do a lot of rugby. Rugby was their thing.
Yeah.
So I'd be stood there in the snow on the wing,
Right.
just thinking, why in God's name are we here?
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense to me. It's freezing. What is wrong with you people? And then as I got older, all of a sudden I became interested in football, and then became interested in all sports.
Yeah.
So towards the end of my time in school,
Yeah.
all of a sudden I started competing and like coming second and third in athletics stuff and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I was very, very late on before I was any interest in that.
Was you a brainy kid?
No.
No?
Not at all. When I was in Llandaff Church in Wales, my
Yeah.
behaviour was so bad that they used to swap me around the different classrooms. We had like 3 classrooms in my year,
Yeah.
and they kept moving me from one to one because I would just cause hell for the whole time that I was in there.
All right.
I was then sent to a behavioural expert
All right.
who did an assessment on me and found
Yeah.
that obviously I was a fairly clever kid, but they were basically saying that if I went to state school, I would be in a remedial class.
Yeah.
So my parents took me out of Llandaff Church in Wales,
Right.
and put me into a private school with a combination of my grandparents, my nan. They all kind of clubbed together to put me into that school.
Any reason why you think it was like that?
I think I had ADHD.
Yeah.
Like back in those days, you just didn't
Yeah,
get
it wasn't
diagnosed for those
diagnosed,
things.
Yeah.
But like when I moved to Westbourne, like the culture was different. Like they could still hit you in those days.
Is that still Cardiff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Penarth
sure.
it was,
Penarth,
Westbourne and
yeah.
Penarth. But my parents signed a disclaimer so that if I was misbehaving, they could like
Yeah.
whack me like. So it's
Can't
mad.
get away with that, did he?
No,
But,
I honestly think in those early days,
Yeah.
if those early days were now,
Yeah.
I imagine there'd be a lot of people in jail.
Oh, yeah. So do you leave any, do you have any exams leaving school? Do you pass any?
I did. I was told that I wouldn't pass a single exam, I wouldn't pass a single GCSE.
Yeah.
And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was hiding upstairs, and my dad was on the phone to the school
Yeah.
to find out what my results were.
Oh.
And he was, I'm there thinking I'm going to get hammered. So I thought, but I got a lock on my door, so I can leg it straight for the door.
Yeah.
And I could listen to it. He's like, huh? Oh.
Passed.
Well, that's all right then, isn't it? And I was like, oh my god. I was terrified. But yeah.
What was your favourite subject in school then?
Unsurprisingly, computers.
Computers, yeah.
I've been programming since I was about 7 years old, so I've always been pretty good at them. I'm like the family and my workplace's technical support. So if anything goes wrong, they
Yeah.
all come to me.
I'm a bit older than you. How old are you now?
42.
42, so I'm about 9 years older than you. So what was your first computer? Was it Ataris then, or was it?
Atari 2600 was my
2600,
console,
yeah.
and then Amstrad PCW 8256 was my my desktop.
I remember that.
And they had no joke. They had green screens.
Yeah.
You had these little bloody floppy disks.
Yeah.
and like the memory was in like kilobytes. It wasn't even megabytes, not in gigabytes, not in whatever. Like it was just how these things even ran stuff. I don't know.
If I remember right, the Amstrad was a rich man's computer them days, because everyone had like 16K spectrums and then 48 and then.
They probably were. To be fair to my parents, and I've discussed this in a few of the gaming videos,
Yeah.
I can't quite understand how they afforded to buy me the stuff that they did.
Yeah.
Because when you like see what the prices were and then you put it into today's money,
Oh yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like a regular game's like about 120 quid.
Yeah. Oh, it's really deal them days. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
ridiculous.
So, what job did you do when first leaving school then?
Well, before I left school, I worked in a news agency, which was just up the road from Whitchurch Mental Hospital. So we had some interesting customers coming down. They were all lovely, but they all had. We had this guy, and you'd see him. You'd sort of like see him coming towards the shop, and he'd have to line himself up perfectly with the road before he'd cross it.
Yeah.
And he'd come in and he'd order the same thing, but he was always a lovely dude.
So he was working in like a shopkeeper or for a shop?
Yeah, basically. And then from there, after that, believe it or not, I did a bit of security bass. Not up to not up to your level, mate. But
where was that then?
that was in a building called Golate House, which is still in the centre of Cardiff.
All right.
So my dad did the day shift,
Yeah.
and I did the evening shift while I was putting myself through university. So I could earn a little bit of money while I was studying.
So, where did you get your qualifications for the job you got now? When did you go back to college or something? Or
I don't suppose. Technically, I don't suppose I got any qualifications for what I did. I studied the various bits that they gave me when I came in and joined the organisation. And funnily enough, I'm getting a qualification in finance now. So 5 years after working for them, I might be qualified to do something.
Right, I first met you through wrestling, so let's go back to the beginning of wrestling. Why wrestling? What got you interested in it?
Well, I was into it from a very young age. I discovered wrestling through like a tape collector in Westbourne. So he used to take stuff off Sky Sports and then he'd rent them. Believe it or not, rent them from one of the classrooms. Yeah. So I'd rent them and I'd watch them, and of course I then copied the tape so I didn't have to rent them again. Yeah. Got to save a little bit, but be a bit smart out there, guys. And then started putting together my own compilation tapes as well. I remember I made John's favourite tag teams things with the Legion of Doom and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And
who's your favourite wrestler then? When you got first involved?
So from that first moment, I fell in love with Roddy Piper.
Right.
Apart from the fact that him being a Brit, even though he wasn't really a Brit, but he was Scottish, so of course he immediately get behind him.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, obviously, because you can't help but love the Hulkster.
Yeah.
Loved a bit of the. I know this is supposed to be the death nail for any wrestler who says it, but I love the Ultimate Warrior in terms of like the energy and stuff. And bear in mind, I didn't watch that many of his matches. I mean, it's pretty much like, is it WrestleMania 6 where the Mega Powers collide?
Oh yeah, amazing match.
Yeah. So was it 6? I think it was 6.
Yeah.
And
well, he's my favourite of all. I mean, I met him. I went Everett to see him. So
yeah, I mean, you can see.
Quite a bit technical, as we know, isn't it? But like you said, just for entertainment and energy.
Exactly, you can say what you want, but at the end of the day, he had the body and the persona, and he was exciting. He was exciting for a young kid. Superhero. Exactly. Yeah.
Did you have when you was watching it then, did you think one day I'm going to be a wrestler, or was you more, no, I'm not big enough, or I'm going to be a manager?
I never thought I would be involved in it in any way, shape, manner or form.
You didn't know that time, like?
No. I didn't even think how it would even be like how you would possibly go about doing it. Yeah. It was, I mean, like I say, these guys on the TV were superheroes, and no offence to myself, but I'm not.
But you're a schoolboy then, obviously. How old was you?
I would have been
renting these tapes?
11 when I was renting them. And
so, how did you get into wrestling then? Did you decide one day, right, I'm going to start training? How did you get into it?
So I was dating a girl who did dance professionally. So she sort of like ballet, tap, all of those different. And she was a real she was a real student of the game. Like and I loved the passion that she had for it. I didn't really understand what the point of it was. I went and watched them, obviously, because you have to if somebody's other half. I didn't get it, but I loved the desire and drive that she had for what she was doing.
Yeah.
And when we went our separate ways, she said to me, you know, you should be doing something you really love to do.
Yeah.
You should be writing for a wrestling magazine or something. And I just thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to become one. And I did. Sort of.
So obviously, anyone don't know, your sister was a wrestler as well. Fit, her name was.
She was.
Did she get into it before you, or was it both at the same time and you got interest because of her?
She came into it after I did, so I suppose I kind of opened the door a little bit. But then, as people well know, she obviously went on to take it to a completely different level. She went on to Lance Storm's academy. She became the Future Shock Women's Champion, which is an amazing feat, because Future Shock back then was, you know, it's quite a big deal.
There wasn't many women wrestling them days, is there?
No,
Well, so.
But
is she still doing it?
No, I think those days. She's got 2 kids now, so I think that's enough wrestling there. Anyone wants to put up with.
Still wrestling, but
wrestling with patience.
So, where did you first start training then? Where did you go?
So I started in the FWA Academy in Portsmouth.
Who was running that then?
So that was Mark Sloan was running that at the time. Really happy man. Really happy with his lot.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, I've always been a bit of a joker, as I think most people probably are aware of. And he's a very serious man with very, very serious sort of like desires on what he's what he wants out of people. Yeah. So I don't think I did particularly badly, and there was certainly an awful lot of people who did worse. I remember there was this one. We were doing this thing where you'd be whipped into the corner, and then someone would run in and give you a big boot. Yeah. So we were doing it one after the other and going round in a loop. Yeah. So I whipped mine in, ran in, give him a big boot, which is ironic considering, you know, how tall I am. Yeah. I obviously was a lot more flexible back then than I am now. Yeah. And so I do mine, and then I get whipped in the corner, turn around, and this no offense, really fat dude. Yeah. So he runs in and just boots me straight in the gut. I went down like a ton of bricks.
Was there any big names there then when you was there?
James Ty was there, the Titanic.
Alex Shane then? Was he something
Alex Shane was there, yeah. He did a section on promos. Oh God, who's William Regal's mate? Legend.
Frankie. No.
No.
Not Frankie.
He's in the WWE Performance Centre now.
I know.
Robbie Brookside. Robbie Brookside. Yeah. Now I can imagine what he must be like in the Performance Centre, because he was passionate about training. Like he spent so long working with us on just making sure that a wrist lock was correct. You know. I had a lot of respect for
so him. Often you got there? Was it once a month or? It was
a week-long course. It
was I remember it. Yeah, I remember.
It was like an intensive training. Actually, it might have been 2 weeks. It might have been 2 weeks actually. But yeah, it was intensive. You'd wake up in the morning, start with a run.
Yeah.
And then into the thing and doing moves and all that kind of thing. And then we finished with a promo. And a match that was filmed, and I think I put it up on YouTube recently. But I got halfway through the promo and forgot what I was saying. I was like, oh God.
So, Andreas and his group of Italian stallions have flown into the UK to show us Brits exactly how to wrestle. I don't think so. I mean, what's the guy going to do? Is he going to beat me to death with a cornetto? Perhaps he's going to string me up with some tagliatelle. You know what? If there's one thing that's for certain about Italians, it's that they suck at war. And exactly what's going to take place out there, a war.
And they wouldn't let you retake it, the bastards.
We all been there, haven't we?
Yeah.
So how long was you with them for then, before you moved on? Or was it just that course?
It was just that course. I then started looking what was a little bit closer to home, so I found the NWA Hammerlock training then through because
Right.
I contacted Alan I found Alan Ravenhill. I didn't know wrestling existed in Wales.
Yeah.
And I came across PPW, and I offered to do Alan's website because I saw that as like a potential way in through the door. So I did that.
You end up as ring announcer there, don't you?
I did. And
I'm sure I seen you in Murphy Labour Club before I even got into wrestling.
yeah,
I
it was,
remember he was announcing.
I think I did quite a good job with announcing, but I tell you what, I was absolutely cacking my pants before I went out there, Bass. It was it was. I think that may have been the point where I started smoking. Actually, just to have to study the nerves before I went out.
So you was in Cardiff and training with the NWA?
Yeah, with Cayman,
Cayman.
and you know, that's where I met Chris Recall, Tyler Brown.
So they run all there as well, were they?
Yeah, Matt Savage, who was originally Cobra and then became El Psycho, and then is now just Matt Savage.
Yeah.
Poor guy. How many iterations of his gimmicks did he use? But yeah, they were all great guys. You know, Papa Smurf was probably there.
Yeah.
Certain people who won't be named. The Workman would have been there.
He was there as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. And then you guys ended up arriving on the scene as well then.
Yeah, I think it was then, I don't know if it finished or Cayman just decided to start his own wrestling training.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it finished there or something. I'm not 100% on I. But,
yeah.
So where did you first meet Cayman?
So it was in that wrestling training school. Alan said, "Oh, there's training down there," and it shows how far I came, because my confidence was pretty low after I left school.
Yeah.
And the fact that I could like walk into a room full of people and go, "Oi, where's Cayman to?" And then this massive guy just sort of emerges, just keeps going up and up and up, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, hello.
So where did you first hear of Celtic wrestling? And obviously through Cayman, is it?
Yeah, well, it was a big kerfuffle in the back, because
was you training at before the Big Bang then? Or
was I training?
Because I know you made your debut. We'll get around to that about the show, the second or two shows after.
Yeah,
the Big Bang.
I was training with.
But was you at the Big Bang?
I was at the Big Bang. I was in the crowd.
Yeah.
But I'd started training with you guys before the Big Bang happened.
You had as well.
But then, obviously, the moment Celtic became an actual thing rather than just a message board forum, that's when Alan started getting like a little bit angsty about the whole thing.
That's when there's the old ripping posters on, like
ripping
you
posters and contacting people and saying, if you work
putting shows on the same night.
Yeah. If you work Cayman show, you can't work.
It was a big disruption. I think a few stood by him, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then it was, but don't get me wrong, it was a chance for us to get in then.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have been on that show otherwise. You know, me, Sugar, and Tommy Dean was it.
Yeah, and attitude certainly changed at the point where, like, Celtic was getting good crowds.
Yeah.
You know, so if you wanted to be in front of a really hot crowd, you needed to be in Celtic wrestling. Whether you rated what we were doing or not, we were putting asses on seats. So
exactly.
So eventually, the people who stayed loyal to Alan just came across.
Yeah, it didn't take long, did it? They all come by then. And
no.
I don't think it was long. He disbanded then, didn't he?
Yeah.
Not long after. But in all fairness, he come back round, and he has. He's a businessman at the end of the day, and he's
doing very well for himself as well.
He's doing very well. He's done a brilliant job, so you can't fault him for that.
I still have to go and see a Tommy Dean match at some point. You'll have to come with me, Bass.
I've seen one. Sorry, I'm going to go. No, I watched a few of his matches. I don't know if you know, I done a bit of a website for him, and I was trying to get him places. And he had some high profile matches, you know what I mean? Mr. Kennedy, he was in with Bram. But I went to Puff Call, I did. And fair play, Ravenel, he left me and my daughter in.
Nice.
No, telling I, me and Sugar went. And what's that one who's in WWE? Mason Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
The big monster.
Oh, the big dude, yeah.
And I think both had a fight with James Mason or something.
Yeah.
And then in the Rumble, then Ryan destroyed him, like. But but it was good. Like, it was good to see him wrestle, like. But
I've seen clips of him wrestle, and I love how smooth he is.
Yeah.
You know, like just a simple.
He was always going to work in a crowd, as you know, anyway. Like when he's with you lot, but
Yeah,
But he said the
definitely.
rest he's picked up. But
Yeah.
it's not about him anyway. We don't
No.
have to put his fucking ego up anymore, does he?
I know.
He will be watching this.
I'm sure, he'll say he's not, but he is.
Yeah. We will both say he's the best wrestler in Wales to ever lace a pair of boots up.
He's the best wrestler to ever be in
Ever.
Harris.
Aye, Harris. December 2005, I think he made new debut. I don't know if it was the show after the Big Bang or the second when he was appointed CW Managing Director. So how did that come about?
So I knew I was never going to get a match for Alan Ravenhill. I couldn't see it ever coming because, you know, I won a 6 foot.
What reason? Not size?
Size, purely on size, you know. Even Mad Dog Max, who's not a tall guy,
Yeah.
you know, he was a big guy,
wider,
and he was just so good anyway, you know.
Yeah.
But most of the people who worked on his shows were fairly, you know, they were
Yeah.
all in the 6 foot kind of region. I wasn't, and I knew he's just got that ethos about him. If he could have Hulk Hogan in every event, that is the guy that he would
Yeah.
want to be there. That kind of size, style, and look and all that kind of thing, and that just wasn't me. Whereas I thought, you know, if I get involved with Celtic, especially as it's just starting out, it may be a way that I could actually do something and contribute and push something forward.
Did he ever, you know, put a thing on you, saying if you go with them, you can't be with us? Or
No, which I should be hugely offended by.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I know he did it to a few, didn't he? But
yeah, you bugger off, John. You don't matter.
So, like I said, you was a managing director. You must have. Because I know you used to meet K-Man. K-Man worked in Cardiff, didn't he? So
Yeah,
you must have met up and talked about it. I mean, he's offered you the role of it. So
Yeah, well, we used to meet we used to have breakfast in the old what do you call it? Well, there was a regular eating place that me and him used to go to. Me, him,
Yeah.
and later on Rockin' Ryan, and we just discussed what we were going to do on the different shows and plan stuff up, and I'd give him ideas and you know, he'd work out what he wanted to do invariably. But we had some good times and some good bacon.
did you still have any plans to wrestle then when you was the managing director?
100%. It was
Yeah.
all. It was always in my mind that's what I wanted to do. I just had it when I was in the FWA Academy in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
I had it really drummed into me that you shouldn't get in the ring until you're ready,
Yeah.
and like properly ready. And then I think as time went on, I thought to myself,
Yeah.
well, I can compete with these guys, so I might as well be in there. You know.
Right. But I know training stopped in Cardiff then, didn't it? And moved up to Merthyr. And fair play, you and the Cardiff boys, Recall, Taylor, all come up, didn't you?
Yeah, we
We got a
did.
picture right there which will show you of all of us in training. Then in January 2006, at the Crown of the King show, you announced that you was forming a faction called the System.
Yeah.
And your first member was found about Tommy Dean, who then attacked your sister on the show. I don't know if you can remember. How did this all come about? Was it your idea? Was it K-Man's idea to form the System?
So it was my idea. I'm a big fan of factions anyway. Not faction overkill, but like, you know, with this Nation of Domination or DX or whatever. I love having like a solid 4 heel group that basically cause mischief, and I'd come up with the name, the System, and the catchphrase. You just can't beat the system prior to even being a part of Celtic. So I wanted to implement it because I just thought it was such a cool gimmick, and it turned out to be such a cool gimmick as well.
Yeah.
It worked brilliantly, and the parts in it were.
Yeah.
Each individual part was brilliant. I may be wrong, but I think he might have actually beaten up Sarah Chidgley on the show when we first debuted, because I think he did that big speech which we wouldn't get away with now. Women don't belong in professional wrestling.
How do I know you? So who decided who went in the System? Was that you or K-Man again?
So it was mainly me. I had a hit list of how I wanted the system to look. So I wanted the experienced guy, which was going to be Mad Dog Max. Chris Recall as the sort of up and comer Randy Orton style
Yeah.
You know, if you're thinking of it from an evolution kind of standpoint, you know, he was the pretender to Mad Dog's crown.
Yeah.
Myself as the mouthpiece. And Ryan Isis, who was this big ox dude, who could do ridiculous things for a guy of his size. And then, so we had the plan, which unfortunately involved you putting Ryan Isis over and then him buggering off.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, well,
and leaving us all. I apologise to you on Cayman show for that, because I thought.
It's wrestling at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It didn't mean nothing else, but...
I mean, you were talking about, I mean, you're not a small guy, and your brother's not a small guy, and we're talking about a guy who could F5 one of you and tombstone the other.
Both of us are 20 stone.
Yeah.
He just chucked us up in the air.
Yeah, it was like watching Brock Lesnar in action when you saw him do it.
I remember Cayman, no, you called out me, you said, oh, Bass, I got this idea. I think I was down for a win with me and my brother.
Yeah.
And he said, Ryan, he sees us coming back, he's going to come out, he's going to make him look a god, do this, do that, and then we fight him in upcoming shows.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, he killed us both.
Yeah.
Went, and we never seen him again.
And the ridiculous part about it is, do you know why he left?
No.
Because his argument was that we weren't putting him over enough. Hey, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to get the whole roster out there?
Just 40 stone up in the air, and then he killed us.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I mean, I'm a big man.
Yeah.
And I don't mind jumping out things and doing stuff.
Yeah.
But no, when someone's throwing something to me, I'm not in control of it. When you're up there, and was he 6'4"?
Yeah.
And like I said, when you're up there, you just hope he puts it right where you're going to land, like. But it didn't hurt none of us.
No.
You know what I mean? We all got right after, and then we didn't see him, like, but...
I couldn't believe it. So what do you think? We're going to stick the heavyweight belt on you after like 20 seconds of you walking through the door? Like, it's not happened, is it?
Because I think he moved on. He was training like somewhere else as well. He done a bit of training, then he come back and you then made your in-ring debut with a partner, Thunderbolt, on the April Showers show. I can't remember that. So that was your very first in a tag match against Matt Vaughan and the Workman. Can you remember anything about that?
Yeah, I do actually. I remember. I wasn't happy. You're right. The thing was with He Who Shall Not Be Named is he spent most of his career nicking other people's gimmicks. So at the beginning of his career, he was Randy Orton. Then he became Matt Hardy for a little bit, and then lastly, and Lord knows why he decided to do this, but he was nicking all the Shannon Moore stuff. So he nicked Shannon Moore's finisher, which is like a jumping, flipping neck breaker.
All right, right.
And before it, I was like, I'm not sure I feel comfortable with this, like, because literally you jump in, grabbing my head's going like that, and I've never taken the move in practice.
Yeah.
So I have no idea how it works. So we went through it a few times.
Well, that's what I said, you're in their hands then, like I was just saying, isn't it? It's scary, like...
Well, it is, when you're whacking someone's neck like that, you know, it's no joke, is it? But I did it because you get that wrestling kind of mindset that you're not going to let people down and all that kind of thing. And I took it, and I must have taken, like, most people just sort of like twist with it, but I took a full-on twisting, flippy bump kind of thing, and it looked really kind of spectacular. Yeah. So in the end, I was quite chuffed with it.
So they ended up winning, yeah.
They did, yeah. I put Vaughan over.
Another show I haven't written it down here. Forgot all about it. Steve Corino night. Remember that? It was an 8-man match. And what I remember, it was a bad match. And obviously Cayman was up against Corino main event, wasn't he? Yeah. So they put us in the system versus another 4. I think it was me, Sugar, Perfect, and someone else.
Was it Workman maybe?
I don't know, it might be Nick Beretta.
But yeah, that 8-man tag was awesome, and there was that.
Oh, it's chaos.
we
fighting on the ring.
We beat crap out of each other. It was awesome. Yeah. And then there was that. Your hot tag is still one of my favourite hot tags.
Well, I'm positive you come up and give me that. You said, you want me one day, you said, Bass, we're going to make you a monster now. Yeah. You said, you're going to have an hot tag in this, you're not going to do nothing, you're going to come in and kill the 4 of us. You said, you're going to fuck us all up with big moves. And I watched it the other day, I haven't seen it for 10 years, and it looked good.
Yeah.
And But then it was just chaos. We just fight us in the ring and there's tables going.
Yeah, and I just remember you got the hot tag and somebody came in, you'd smashed them, smashed him.
Yeah.
Rico comes in, you hit him with a spine buster. Beautiful, clean spine buster, but for some reason it knocked him silly.
When he concussed?
He was concussed.
If I remember,
he
right?
cannot remember any point from that. Like, because I didn't think there was anything wrong, because he was actually like at the
Still going. Like,
yeah. When we were like legging it, Rico was sort of like standing on top of a table, I think, giving you guys all kinds of crap.
Yeah.
He does not remember anything going all the way into the backstage area.
But when I watched the other day, honestly, the four of you, Sugar was taking the heat, didn't he? And you just battered him. And you know what I mean? He's not the fittest, no, he can get through a match, but I'm thinking, when I watched it today, I was thinking, how did he last that long? Because you're all getting him, he's trying to get up, and obviously got the hot tag in the end, like, but it was a bad match. What did you think of Carino backstage? Because he was involved.
What a nice
he was involved.
guy.
That's what I was getting around. He was involved with a big promo at the beginning with him, wasn't he?
And he's such a clever guy and such a nice guy, and he just fitted into what we were doing like a glove. You know, we did our usual opening promo, because we'd go out there and we'd set what was happening on the whole show.
Yeah.
And then Carino, you know, I passed the microphone to Carino, and he cuts this amazing promo about how everything that he touches basically goes up. Ratings go up, attendances go up, and there's me and Rico in the background going, what? We're all jumping in the air behind him.
It worked well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Well.
And then we had the match. That was the moment where Cayman lost his rag. I think the pressure pressure got to him, you see, and there was supposed to be this bit in the match where he picks Carino up for a CDD, and I was to trip him so that Carino could take back over and take the advantage.
Yeah.
Now he forgets that that's what we've agreed to.
Oh no,
so,
Carino.
Cayman.
Oh, Cayman, yeah.
So I pull the legs out from under him, and Cayman's his eyes are they're wide and they're looking at me, and he's like, you fucked it, you have. And he's looking directly at me. I'm thinking, shit, I've got to take
in the middle of matches,
I've got to take a hit off him in a minute. So basically there's a spot where he hits the ref and me at the same time. So he gets up and he's lost it. He comes charging at us, so I just ducked him behind the ref. I just let him took the whole thing. I took a bump to the floor, and then we went to the finish. And afterwards, Carino comes up to me.
Did Carino get hold of you in the end?
He did. He came up to me and he said, just to let you guys know, and he was talking to me and Chris, and he said, you guys were fantastic.
Yeah.
By the way, you didn't fuck up. He fucked up.
Yeah.
I was like, thanks, mate.
You picked up 2 wins then. I got to thank Trimble, the CW Bible, because I wouldn't remember none of this.
I know.
Know what I mean? And,
thank God we never hit Trimble with chair shots, so we'd have been bugging.
If I got the interview, it's all I got to do, go on the page, read the history, and it's all there for you, innit?
Yeah.
I don't know, like we said earlier, before this started, I've heard both of us had knocks, and I spoke with us about Chris Rico the other day, but we can't remember matches.
No. No, mine came quite quickly. Rico's has come late on. I did an interview with Chris, which I still have from about 10-15 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was remembering dates and times and like different things that happened. I'm just had to go, did we?
Then come June, you had 2 victories, one over the Workman and one over Chris Pethwick.
Yes.
I can't remember them, but
so the
single matches?
Yeah, there were singles matches. The Workman, I kind of view the Workman one as my first proper singles match.
Yeah.
I can't remember that much about it, if I'm being brutally honest, other than the Workman put me on.
I'm guessing system got involved.
I would imagine so. sounds like something we do.
System involved every match,
That's how we got all the heat. That's why everyone wanted to kill us.
Of course it did, didn't it? But,
that's it. You don't get bottles chucked at you for no apparent reason. You've got to work for them bottles sailing at your head.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Pethwick one. I mean, me and Chris.
Was that the build up to the Big Bang one?
It was So.
Or is this a different win?
So this I beat Pethwick first in a 1-on-1 singles.
Where?
This was in Merthyr.
Right, yeah.
and we paid another one of the people who shall not be named, who was the referee at the time.
Right.
We did this angle where we essentially paid him off, so I gave him a big fat load of money at the end because I had all the system run in, and they pounded him, and then I hit two frog splashes off the top rope. And then a fast count for the victory. So we proper did him over.
All right.
And that led to the Sheamus incident, which I'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
But I remember during the Petherwick match, we were kind of quite early on, and I had Petherwick in a chin lock.
Yeah.
And he goes to me, "John, my knee's gone."
All right.
Oh crap.
Yeah.
He's like, so I held him in that chin lock for a Randy Orton length of time, trying to.
What, he twisted it, or was he?
I don't know. He just said, "Oh, my knee's gone." But obviously, whatever happened, he seemed to get sorted out because we finished the match.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Petherwick helped bring me into this company. Petherwick with Bradley again.
Is that legal? Can he be doing that? Look at the bend in Bradley after that.
Bradley's bent, folks. You heard it here tonight. Big elevated suplex. Missed it.
Was there. She's ungrateful. Great drop to a hold there from the boss.
I think he'll be having words with me later on after the kind words I said about him at his birthday bash.
And whatever punishment he gives you, you deserve it. You know whatever punishment Mick gets in this match, she deserves. You deserve the Mick
that gut crack
down until Patrick screams like a little pig in that stupid accent, and that was a beautiful frog splash on the top rope from the boss.
Thank goodness, Johnny James in ruins, finally defeated. After months of oppression, Petherwick rose above it all.
What's getting me thinking here, Nigel Rowe, is if the wrestlers get paid for winning, does that mean he has got to pay Petherwick for beating him? That's not going to go down very well with the board members of Celtic Wrestling.
the next show we had I think we had Sheamus in,
Right,
and we
yeah.
did that was the one where I almost caused a riot in the studio bar.
Yeah.
Because I came up for a promo saying, "Oh, Chris Petherwick's done. He's in the hospital. He's never coming back. His career's over." And then his music hits, and the crowd pops. It's my sister that comes out, not Petherwick.
All right,
and
yeah.
she's there going, what are you doing to me? You're ruining my life. I just want the two people I love most in the world to get on. And I was like, well, I don't think he's good enough for you, but if that's what you want, then I'll bite my lip.
Yeah.
But so we have a hug, and the crowd goes, "Oh," and I was like, and she goes to walk away, and I keep holding her hand, and I was like, but there is one thing though, I do believe in tough love, and tough love can be a bitch, and I nailed her with my stunner gutbuster.
Yeah.
The crowd go fucking mad.
Was that Cardiff?
No, this was in the studio bar.
Merthyr, yeah.
They were so pissed.
Yeah.
And they were trying, like the system are trying to get me out of there. They're trying to come over the barriers to try and get. At the same time, we got Cayman, Sheamus, and all the faces running out. It was bedlam. It was so much fun.
Didn't the system kidnap your sister on stage? Or
I did.
Something.
I do remember us too. We kidnapped a lot.
She was on Chaos tapings, wasn't it?
I love a good kidnap. Hell Bunny, we kidnapped her. Oh no, the EU kidnapped her. Love a kidnapping.
Yeah, you can't be a good kidnapping. Was you involved in Chaos? The writing the scripts, or
No, that
matches,
was all
the graphics.
No, that was the graphics was Hero, and I love what Hero did with that entrance theme and everything, and the soundtrack that he picked. That was so good, and of course he did the commentary as well.
Brilliant
His commentary is awesome.
Oh, he's brilliant.
If Pro Wrestling Chaos wants somebody to come do commentary, bring him back. Honestly, he's brilliant. Ash Cox, like Cayman gave Ash Cox the book.
I think he did. Yeah.
I didn't think Ash did a bad job. But
Yeah.
he got a lot of heat while that was going on. There were a lot of people sort of in his
fucking
back while
hell.
that was going on.
You know what they like, backstabbing and that. innit?
Yeah. But I think because Cayman didn't have the book, and everyone knew that I was like, I don't feel like I'd experienced the Booker getting knifed before, so that was the first experience of people playing booking
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah, so many clicks and that in there and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember right, the last he booked some good stuff. He's the one who gave me the one man riot name and and other matches. But then he used to jib sometimes if he didn't like who was going over and things and that.
Yeah.
He get really sentimental about things like. But
I tell you what,
Cayman was at the end of the day, it was Cayman's decision final who went over. So
exactly. And I'll tell you a funny story about Ash Cox as well. On one of the Chaos tapings, we were all doing interviews backstage, and I don't know why, but one of the people who was being interviewed was Ash Cox.
Right.
And he starts cutting this promo, and he's literally putting on a faux American accent while he's doing it. This is a wrestling ring. This is my badge. And Cayman kept on to stop and going, stop doing it in American. That was hilarious.
yeah, I gotta be honest, he was one of the good guys I thought in
Yeah,
wrestling.
I thought so.
He was harmless, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You then returned on Smoke on the Water show, September, picking a third win on the row against the new Cobra. Is that the Cobra he was on before?
So this
Michael?
was Anthony Marnie, this was. So, yeah, so...
Oh, he's the new Cobra.
So he was
Marnie.
the new Cobra,
Right.
basically because the old Cobra had left, and that's why we repeated it with the El Psycho thing as well. It was basically a rib on Matt Savage.
Matt Savage. Yeah.
So with the new Cobra. Now, I think this is what happened. Marnie had pissed Cayman off. I can't remember for the life of me why he had.
Yeah.
But so he goes to me, right, 2-minute squash match. So like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is quite harsh. Like me squashing somebody is, I'm not Brock Lesnar. I'm not Thomas Bassey. This is the sort of like part-time general manager, part-time worker kind of thing. So what I did was I made it no DQ. And I basically hammered him with my golf club and put him in a submission move with the golf club, I think, around his throat, with old Bradley around his throat. So and then I gave him a blood capsule, so it looked like he passed out from like the pain. So I basically screwed him over rather than doing a traditional squash.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't last very long.
I'm going to show you a picture now of you and Bradley together.
Oh, not Bradley.
So, who come up with the Bradley gimmick? And
so that was all me. You gotta keep freshening things up, haven't you?
Yeah.
And my thought process was I wanted to go. I'd been sort of like the rich kid who everybody hated. I now wanted to make it look like my mind was going a little bit.
Yeah.
So I brought in Bradley, which was a golf club that I'd found from somewhere. No idea where this thing turned up from.
Yeah.
Stuck a couple of googly eyes on him and drew a face on him.
Yeah.
And then put a tie on him. And I just spend my time talking to him and, a little bit like Head, I suppose, from the old Al Snow thing. But then it had the advantage of also being a very, very useful weapon, and the rest of the System boys jumped on it as well. And we got a golf club over. We got a golf club with googly eyes over, which is mental.
Yeah.
And then he got nicked, poor bastard.
You got nicked, did you?
Yeah, my car got nicked from outside the house.
That rings a bell, yeah.
And it was, I eventually found the car embedded into, well, the police found it embedded in a lamppost, but by the time I got there, like the people who clean the parks must have been up, and just like, everything was gone. Everything was gone apart from my broken car. So yeah, somewhere out there is Bradley.
But you, going back to coming up to the Big Bang Tour, and you built up a bit of a good feud with Chris Pethwick, your sister, which come to an end, I think, of the Big Bang Tour. How did that go?
We're back! Big Bang 2! Johnny James is out here!
6 months in the making. I have waited for this match. Oh.
It went really well. There's two bits that I always laugh at in that match. And me and Chris had fairly good chemistry and fairly good matches and fairly good promos as well. And I just remember two things. There's a bit where I take a superplex off the top rope.
Submitting. No! Beautiful!
So I'm getting up on the top rope to come off, and of course Pethwick cuts me off, and I go down onto the turnbuckle, and there must have been like some kind of metal thing sticking out, and that went right up my arsehole.
Oh no!
And I ripped my tights as well.
Yeah.
So that was so painful. Like I've there like that, especially as you didn't see that coming like in a million years. So we take the superplex. We went to the finish, which he did a I think it was a single leg Boston was his finisher.
Yeah.
So I'm in that, and slowly I can feel my tights are just getting lower and lower and lower as because I really wanted to like ham it up and arm out and I'm there thinking I'm gonna have to tap or my cock's gonna fall out.
Snivelling, little git that he is. He was thinking about it.
You were saying, nice spine buster there.
Look who's
Chaining combo to the Boston Crab, to the Lion Tamer.
No, he didn't quit.
Tony James quit.
That was interference.
And you was hated by the crowd, didn't you, as well?
Yeah.
The Canton crowd, didn't you?
Oh, there was that bit as well when my sister ran in and gave Tommy Dean one of the best flying head scissors that anyone's probably ever
I seen that the other day. It was wicked. That was.
Yeah, but if you want to know how good that flying head scissors was, right? Watch. My aunt is in the front row and she's got ginger hair.
No.
Look at the expression on her face when my sister's doing that. She could not believe it. So funny.
Done this.
Wait a minute, Miss Fitz, get in the ring.
The equaliser has returned.
Chris Thunderbolt was in that big whirly bird.
But yeah, I come to an end then. Few months later, Sweet Sugar was made the new managing director.
Yes.
Whose decision was that? Why did you stand down? Or did you want to concentrate on more wrestling?
I think it was twofold. It was Cayman's decision, I think. I think it was Cayman. I'm pretty certain it was Cayman's decision.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a problem with it because you worry that things get stale.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that we were
Must have been
stale.
going about 2 years behind, is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure we were stale, but we were getting there. And the heels have always got to have their comeuppance.
Yeah.
And whilst I always had power, there was never going to be that comeuppance bit. So
Yeah.
it was a great chance of getting a face general manager in and, you know...
Then ended up wrestling Sweet Sugar on a surprise show in Canton in Cardiff.
Yes.
And if I remember right, did you bring a big fish out and
I
hit
did.
Sweet Sugar across the head?
I did. That is my favourite match of my career. All of it was just so smooth. I don't think either of us probably had a better match in the whole time that we were doing this. But that was a big night because that was the end of the system night. So I beat Sweet Sugar in the opening match.
Yeah.
And then somebody deputised for Tommy Dean.
Right.
I can't remember why he was missing.
El Psycho was with you by then as well, wasn't
Yeah, El Sykes was with us for that. So if you watch that, Tyler had left the group, so he was off on his own by that point.
Right.
He turned face. But yeah, if you watch that, you've got Recall and El Psycho causing mayhem on the outside, and like me distracting the referee and cheating and hitting him with a fish.
I saw the fish hit his head and flew out your hands and landed over in the crowd, didn't it?
Well, I think it almost hit Recall's mum. It's like thundered into the doorway by Recall's mum.
Where did you get the idea to bring a big trout in?
What?
Was you did you come up with it in a day, or was it planned?
I planned it. I was watching an advert on the TV, and it was there was a naked dude walking down the road, and then somebody drives past and hits him in the back of the head with a fish. I was like, I've got to do that. That'd be amazing. So I went and bought the fish from the fishmongers that day. And then the funniest thing about it was, because Spam was going to take it home and cook it, but the last I saw of it, it was actually in the car park with a lit fag in its mouth, and it had been run over
So that was the end of the system that night, was it?
It was.
It was.
It was. It was. Yeah, bittersweet that, because I think it was Recall versus Cayman, best 2 out of 3 falls. I want to say something like that.
But it then give you a chance to go into singles, isn't it? And you wrestling on the Mayhem show in Aberfan,
Yes.
picking up the biggest win of your career to win your first title, the
Yeah.
interactive title. I can't
Yeah.
remember who you beat, but
I
can you
said,
remember the match?
I said, Mr. Bassey, I do remember the match. I remember the match for multiple reasons. But the one thing that really stood out is you had a lot of your doormates who were coming to see the match.
Yeah.
And I was there thinking, oh crap, again, this is big Thomas Bassey, heavyweight champion, etc. And he's going to lose to me in front of his mates. So we literally spent the whole of the first portion of the match with you treating me like a rag doll. I was like,
Yeah, to
you know, I like you power bombed me 3 times into a concrete wall. The most painful part of that whole match was I got you in a wrist lock, and I wanted to, again, it was to demonstrate how much more powerful you were,
Yeah.
and you just sort of picked me up and just threw me like that, and I came down on my hip. I was like, oh, bugger, but yeah.
If I remember right, though, didn't Sweet Sugar come out? Didn't I win the match and then Sugar
You
come
won the
out and
match.
restarted
He
it?
did, yeah.
I don't know why, and then he turned on me.
Yeah, but
Is that ringing
basically,
some bell?
so the idea, the promo at the start set the idea that he gave me that match as punishment,
Right,
and then he
yeah.
restarted the match to give me more punishment,
But he was too
and that's when he did you over.
Right.
And the crowd were so upset, and it was. There's 3 other things I remember. I remember when you were powerbombing me into the wall.
Right.
You can hear Tyler in the background going, "Do it again! Do it again!" It was hilarious. And then as we're leaving,
Yeah.
God, what's his name? The little English fella. Who you were tag partners with, who's another one of those
Oh,
shall
right,
not be
yeah,
named.
yeah, I remember the one now.
Yeah. So he jumped me on the way out. I was going, that's my tag partner, and he clocks me across the head as I'm on the way out. And then the kids in the crowd, they've taken their belts off and they're whipping me as I'm going past like
Oh,
that.
Aberfan were fucking lethal, weren't they?
They were mental. They were mental. But they were so into it, and I was so pumped up with adrenaline because I'd won the belt.
Yeah.
I couldn't feel anything that they were doing. It's only because I watched it back on the tape that
Yeah,
I even
yeah.
know that it took place.
But can you remember who we fought then once he won that title? Let's have a look, yeah. He got into a feud with Johnny the Body,
Johnny the Body.
and he was stripped of the title but then given it back. I see, I just...
Yeah. So Me and Johnny,
Do you remember much about this?
yeah, me and Johnny were going to work a proper program together. So
Yeah.
I would win the first, which I did, I believe, by count out, because I was always a cheating chicken shit
Yeah.
bastard. Then he pinned me clean after a stunner and won the title. But we, going back to what the system likes to do, we'd kidnapped his missus.
Yeah.
So we did a trade-off. If he wanted his missus back, he had to have the decision reversed.
Oh,
so the
right.
decision was reversed,
Yeah.
and the title came back to me. So technically, I never lost it.
So you had it back then, right?
Yeah.
You had another show in Rock and Wrestling. Just a minute, do you remember that?
Yes.
Me and you,
Yes.
20 people.
I tell you what, though, we had a hell of a fight. That was really good.
It was alright. I think we won the first on in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So no one had turned up, but anyway, like.
Yeah. So I won the first. Wasn't it via count out or something like that? But I can't remember why. I just remember the last match you and I had, because
Right.
when we had the match in Aberfan, I'd taken your Roland Samoan for the first time, which I'd always been a bit like, oh
Yeah.
God. But I took it, and I was like, oh, actually, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So with that one, I relaxed into it. I didn't tense
Yeah.
like I did previously. So you hit the...
It was the one in Leicester, using a bad way, wasn't it?
Yeah. so he hits me with this rolling Samoan, and
My apologies.
I'm all relaxed and all that
Yeah.
kind of thing, and like literally ploughed the wind straight out of me. I was like, oh God.
I saw we had to put you in a van for half hour after the one in Aston.
Well-
or something happened.
No, I don't. What happened was you then picked me up and gave me the power slam for the finish.
Right.
But I was so desperate to get the match over, I almost threw myself into it. So I then landed with my ankle behind myself as well.
Oh.
So I totally crippled myself, and I'm lying there, and when you're just lying there, just checking whether everything's still functioning.
Yeah.
You're like moving it, and also you want to sell for the crowd, but it's like, have I broken anything or like?
Yeah.
And none of it was your fault. It was all my fault. Warren comes out. He goes, "Are you all right, mate?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I think I am. And he's like, "Stay there for a bit." They seem to be reacting to this.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like, the crowd starts hushing down, and like they start getting worried, and then like Cayman comes out, and he goes, "Are you all right, John?" It's like, "Yeah, we're just selling for the crowd." So he's like, mate, you're gonna have to make a move in a minute. You're really worrying him. So a couple of the boys helped me to my feet. And I end up getting a round of applause as I'm leaving. and I worked all of them.
In the outdoor show in Aston,
Yeah.
Corner Trimble is facts. On the same day, you went on to win a Battle Royale.
Yeah, I won
You
one.
did?
I did win a battle.
Plus, another tag team match. You and
Yeah.
Sugar. Who did you beat? Do you remember who
I
you
can't
fought?
remember who he was with.
So because we had about 3 matches after,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it was me and you in the final of the Battle Royal. I don't know how
It was, is it?
Yeah, I don't know how the hell I eliminated you.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. you must have run at me and I must have ducked underneath the rope or something, because otherwise I don't have a clue how I managed to do that. The first one I won by count out.
Yeah.
I don't remember the tag match at all.
You and Sugar versus it don't say who.
Yeah.
In
I would imagine it would have been you and somebody else,
Could have
but
been Scouse and Ann, because they were, the
I
up-and-comers then.
never got the face scouts.
You didn't?
Always been gutted by that.
Yeah. We have to look into the history, have a look at that one.
Yeah.
So you're back champion again, because I've been taken off you.
Yeah.
You was unable then to attend the Dragon Show September.
Yeah.
So T-Bone defended the title for you.
Yeah.
So why couldn't you defend it? What was it?
So what happened was, and anyone who's worked for Cayman knows, right? Cayman used to just book shows. You wouldn't ask you whether you're available.
Yeah.
You'd just be like, you just on the Celtic forum be like, oh yeah, the show is taking place in this place and this is the card, and you're like, is it? Okay. And most of the time, for most of us, that was fine. It just so happened at this particular juncture,
Yeah.
the very next day after the show, I was in the middle of doing my second degree, and I had my
Right.
environmental law exam.
All right.
And I was thinking, A, I should be studying for my exam.
Yeah.
B, if I break something on the show,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do the exam, so I'm going to be absolutely buggered. So I said to
So
Cayman,
important, isn't it?
yeah. So I said to Cayman, look, can we, you know, I've got this. I'm not going to be able to attend.
Yeah.
And he said, well, if you're not going to attend, I'm going to have to strip you the title.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I thought about it, and I was like, do you know what? As much as it kills me to do this,
Yeah.
because it was such a big thing for me,
Yeah.
I have to stick to my guns, and because it is the right thing to do. It's for my future.
Yeah.
So I went and handed him the title back in one of our lunch hours.
All right. And then T-Bone defended it.
Yeah, so
Lost to Johnny the Body.
and Johnny the Body became champion, and that should have been.
But then they do a triple threat match then, didn't it?
Yeah, because
Big Bang 3.
Yeah, because the whole point of that third and final match that T-Bone was in was I was supposed to put Johnny the Body over properly. That was the whole what it was building to, and I didn't get that opportunity. You know, it wasn't that I didn't want to lose the title. I'm happy to drop the title to Johnny, and Johnny took good care of me during the whole feud.
At the Big Bang 3.
So that's the reason. That's the reason why I did the triple threat.
Yeah.
And didn't, because I wanted to leave at that point because I was upset.
Yeah.
But I came back to put Johnny the Body over
What reason was you upset?
because I thought
Couldn't-
I didn't see why he couldn't have just not had the belt on that show
On that show, yeah.
and just let me and Johnny do what we were supposed to do at a later
All
date.
right. I got you.
Yeah,
So you got a break, end of you.
I did.
Oh, well, after the match, you disappeared for 14 months.
I did.
Did you follow Celtic at all then?
Yeah, I kept in contact with people.
Yeah.
I kept a kind of.
Had you fallen out with Cayman fully, or?
I don't think we fully had an argument, but you know, I basically said to him, and I've still got the email to this day where because he tried to get me to come back, and I was like, I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a sort of Shawn Michaels losing his smile moment, I suppose. You know?
Yeah. 40 months, long time. I mean.
Yeah.
So.
And I think by the time I came back, I think you were in charge at that point.
So Cayman had gone then, as the promoter.
I think that's why I came back, because I would come back for you. I know that sounds harsh now, because me and Carl are obviously, you know, we're really, really good at the moment.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't come back for him, I'd come back for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I got a picture, I'll show you now.
Yeah.
And I'm with you and Tyler Brown, so it looks like it's an Aberfan photo. So did you manage me at all? I can't remember.
I think I did. Now that you say that,
Was it for one night?
it must have been. I think you turned heel.
I might turn heel in Aberfan, it was.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to get someone over as a heel, then you know, chuck me in there because I'm
in,
guaranteed
yeah.
to get hated. Do you know what, Batter? I genuinely, when I started my career, I thought I was going to be a babyface. How funny is that?
Yeah.
And I was a heel for the whole experience.
Well, I gotta be honest, you was one of the most hated wrestlers, managers. I mean, you've done your job, didn't you?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
What it's about, isn't it?
Exactly.
Was you ever face at all?
Never. I'm probably
Never.
the only person who never went from face to heel or vice versa.
Like you said, the old system, Psycho, Tyler, Recall, they all went faces in the end.
Yeah, even Bolt was kind of a face for a bit. Yeah,
I think. With Lightning Kid, when he was faces.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Tag team champions.
I remember I actually faced Bolt at you know, he had the WWO thing for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was the time where he tore his pectoral muscles.
That's right. Now it's coming back.
And he worked a whole match against me with torn pectoral muscles, and he couldn't take a bump. I tell you what, one of the most proudest moments is me getting through a whole match, and it was quite a good match as well, with him taking one bump in the whole thing.
Sure.
Sorry, I've got off track there.
No, how did you find WWO? It went too bad, I thought.
Yeah, it bolted really well, and I liked the venue, and you know, he had some good ideas, but it started to become a little bit oversaturated at that point, because you had SWCW without Pillock. You had Warren's, Celtic was still running. There might have been sort of murmurs of other things. I know I had discussions about starting one at one point. I think particularly when I
starting what?
I was thinking of starting a Fed at one point.
All right, yeah. I was going to ask you, do you have any thoughts on doing it? Or?
I did have. I don't think I'd do it now, but I'm more than I know obviously Pro Wrestling Carnage have asked me to come in, so I'm more than happy to chuck my ideas at them when and if they want them.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be interesting, that is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to them, to be honest.
I'm looking forward to it as well.
So, we got your reasons why you left. Like you said, then I take you on promoter, I put you in a bit of a feud then. I think you were teaming up with Sugar then, he was an heel as well. And you caught up against Death Row, didn't you?
We did.
So-
And that match was quite enjoyable as well. But it was funny because Death Row, I think, may have been working another show. He was late for some reason. He turned up really, really late.
Death Row did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the show that the unfortunate incident with Nick happened as well.
All right, yeah.
And that happened directly before our match.
Right.
And I was talking to Death Row, and me and Sugar had come through with this whole plan.
Yeah.
And of course, Death Row was feeling like he was fairly seasoned at that point. He's like, no, we're not doing any of that, we're keeping it simple. Like, okay. I love Death Row. He's awesome. And he was right. I'm glad he'd said what he said, because after what happened with Nick, like everyone's heads had gone. So
I saw me and Recall had gone last night, and
yeah.
the match we had planned, we didn't do it, like, I mean, it was a totally different match, like.
And the crowd reaction was really weird, because we came out directly after us. I was in the middle of taking my boots off. I thought it was over, and then we decided to carry on. So I come out before Sugar. We came out together, but Sugar was behind me.
So you was on after, it was you and Sugar against Death Row after the Nick
incident, yeah. So obviously the crowd were a little bit strange as well. So I come out and I give it a little bit of a roar.
Yeah.
And I get a face pop. And I'm like, what in God's name is going on tonight? But what a match.
Do you think the promoter made the best decision to carry on the show, or not?
Oh God, man, that's such a hard question. Because none of us knew how bad it was. I think if we knew how bad it was...
Of course, yeah.
If we knew how bad it was...
Obviously, the promoter's me looking at you now, but I'd rather you tell me the truth. You know what I mean? It don't matter.
It's a question a lot of people have asked me, and the answer still is I don't know, because I think if Nick's injury had been not as severe as it was, I think nobody would have batted an eyelid.
Of course,
And at that, like I say, at that point, I mean, there is such a thing as a stinger, you know, and a stinger temporarily stops you from moving, but you will get, you know, your feeling back.
I say it was a big decision I made, didn't it? But like I said, I don't think we ever went back to Cardiff after that show, did we?
No, I think
obviously he was getting sued, and
there were issues with the venue. I think because I think he not only did he sue you, but I think he tried to sue the venue.
Tried to sue the venue first.
Yeah, did he?
He tried to sue the venue first. No joy. He was sued. I had all my insurances. Then he tried to sue me for negligence.
Yeah.
And like I said, I went into the change room for the match. That's them, were they all alright? They plan their matches, as you know yourself. They passed it all. They said, yeah, passed, all sorted.
Yeah.
So it was a freak accident for me.
It was, and it wasn't. It couldn't possibly be negligent on your part, Bass, because you know,
Well, that's how we got thrown in the end. I mean.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it was a hard few months, like, because, like I said, to find a solicitor who will take on a sports injury.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
So in the end, I defended myself, and I just told the truth. That's all I could do.
Yeah.
I thought I haven't got the money to do my thing. I told the truth, and it got dropped in the end, like.
Yeah. And it should be, to be honest, because you know, like you say, it was an accident. Could have happened to any of us. I'm gutted it happened to Nick, because he was a lovely dude.
Any idea how he's doing?
Not really.
Sure.
I think he's pretty much kept himself to himself for quite a long time. I think his family don't really want any of us to have anything to do with him.
But his family were great with me the following day after the show.
Yeah.
And because they were from the Midlands. I was living in Oakland, I was offering them lifts and all that.
Yeah.
I booked a day off work, they said I could come and visit him. And then all of a sudden, something happened, and you know the rest then. They stopped, they didn't want nothing to do with the rest. And you can't blame him, you know what I mean?
No, I can't blame him at all.
And then, like I said, a couple of months later, I got sued.
Yeah.
So we lose Canton in the end, which was a shame, because I think we had a show planned, the Golden Ticket, wasn't it?
Yes.
And we went on a radio show, a couple of the boys, and then like I said, me recall Tyler, Bolt, Psycho, and he was selling well as well. And then all of a sudden, can't hit this with the news, no more shows like, so...
It was going to be like Money in the Bank, wasn't it, the golden ticket, I think.
Something like that, yeah. You could cash it in, Money in the Bank, like.
Yeah.
But, so your last match, you were Sugar, was that show?
It was at that show,
And what was that, the Big Bang?
Big Bang 5.
5,
Yeah.
was, yeah. So...
Yeah, I think after that,
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a reassessment in terms of...
I was going to say you started disappearing from a few shows. Any reason why? Was it because of that incident?
Yeah,
or?
I think so. I think part of me was thinking to myself, you know, I was going into my 30s, which at the time I was thinking, oh, you're getting on a bit, which
Yeah.
is hilarious. Now I'm 42, thinking, God, I wish I was getting on that bit now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought to myself, I've always been driven that, you know, I felt that we were going to like make it, we were going to have our own TV show and we were going to do this, that and the other. And I could see it drifting away, that it wasn't, it sadly wasn't going to happen for us. And I was there thinking, well, if you're not going to go to WWE, which you're not, if we're not going to if we weren't going to make it, what am I doing it for? What am I putting my, you know, because I could be next.
Yeah.
You know?
There's not big bucks in it, is there? You know
No.
yourself. I mean, it's just an hobby to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we made money, we made money. But like I said, we've done a lot of charity work as well.
Yes, we did.
You know what I mean? We raised a few £1,000 for people on shows and that.
Yeah.
But you turned back up then at Celtic Havoc as the
Yes.
agent for Chris Recall in the Guinness Club for the heavyweight title, where me and Chris was going in a Guinness street fight match.
Yeah.
So, can you remember much about that match? It was a bit chaos again.
Oh God! I tell you what, I love people at Gurnos. What lovely people. I don't think Lyndon Hamill thinks so, but you know, I was outside having a fag to them and having a nice chat with a lot of the people there. But yeah, the kids, oh my God, like like the whipping people with belts and stuff that we had in Aberfan was nothing compared to pinching.
Yeah.
What they do is like they were literally just like, you're like, oh, you little bastard.
But what they do is, basically, the parents are dropping them off, leaving them there. So
Yeah.
but they picked, after that first show, where I think it was that show, where they were chucking stuff you on recall and, you know, chucking drink over you. I think the parents had a word with them then, or the club did.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want them more like.
Yeah.
But,
no, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that show.
You and Blanchard got into a bit of a wreck at the end, didn't you, if I
We
remember
did.
right?
That was Chris Recall's idea. So he's like, what?
Didn't he do that? What's it called, that move? Like an Austin thing, when he jumps on you and
yeah.
Anderson.
Yeah. Well, what Recall said, what I want you guys to do is I want you to get into a brawl, and then, because in women's wrestling back in the day, because they aren't what they are now, they used to do sort of like pulling hair and rolling over the ring kind of thing. So he thought it would be hilarious if me and Blanchard did exactly the same thing. So you know, he did, like you say, he did the Austin thing, but then we just sort of like hitting each other and then rolling and then fell out the ring kind of thing. It was quite funny.
I finished promoting then, obviously after the Nick that thing, and once I got thing, Johnny Miller took over and he was announcing you as the evil genius.
Yeah.
So was that his idea, or was that you as
I think it
from
might
him
be,
watching?
I think it might have been his idea. I don't remember ever calling myself the evil genius. Or just somebody came up with it, I think. And it might well have been Johnny Miller, it might be. But he wasn't very popular, was he? Because I was well on my way out by the time he
I
took
think it was
over.
starting to fall apart then. I mean, like I said, Cayman, they want to take it back. In all fairness, he kept it going for a couple of shows. But he was then gone for another 8 months again.
Yeah.
And then you appeared at Summer Crunch, where you returned the role of the managing director for the night. How did this come about?
Yeah, so I mean, with the Recall one, it was obviously Chris contacting me and basically saying I'd like to do it, you know, with you one last time, and we'll come out to the old entrance music.
Yeah.
With that one, although my memory of it is a little bit on the hazy side, I think the reason I did that one was purely because it was the night that Tyler Brown was going to become the champion, and I loved the idea.
So you went out with Mike Bird?
I did, yeah. So I managed Mike Bird, and Mike Bird dropped even though he wasn't champion, I don't know, someone must have vacated or something
I was
like
thinking
that.
I was looking at it the other day, because Tyler won it, unless it was like a crowning at I don't know.
Yeah,
Someone might
no,
have
so,
vacated it.
somebody must have, someone must have vacated.
Yeah, because Tyler picked up his title then, didn't he?
Yeah, and I wanted to be there for that night because me, Recall, Tyler Brown, and
Yeah.
Thunderbolt Tommy Dean. I'm always going to have a special place in my heart for those guys,
Yeah.
and to be there on the night where Tyler finally wins
Oh,
the
yeah,
title
it's great stuff,
was going to be a special moment for everybody. So I was glad to be there, happy to be a part of it.
Wasn't you part of, I may have got this wrong, that Eagles United?
Yeah, I was. That was at the time.
Sugar and Workman, wasn't it?
I think that
And
came
I think
up-
Tommy Dean was like a manager, or was it?
No, Tommy Dean was there. Sweet Sugar, Warren, and so there was that guy that came back from Canada with Matt Vaughan. He came out with us for a little bit. Can't remember his name.
Oh, I know the one.
Yeah, I can't. And he was quite talented, that fella. He was.
Yeah,
he
he's
was
a nice
quite good.
boy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Not the other one.
So yeah, that was around that was just before I became interactive champion because I had them for the first match with Johnny the Body.
I think I was the last show for Celtic. I don't know if you come up to the others, if you was busy. Obviously the Goss Dynasty had taken over. Do you ever see him in the Goss Dynasty? Or was you gone by then?
I think I was well and truly gone by the.
I'm sure Rico had gone by then. No, he went. He was in that money for a while, or I don't know.
I'm not sure because I lost track a bit of the whole Recall thing.
Yeah, because he disappeared for a couple of months as well. Like it's a long time ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah. But he left after I did. But then apparently he kind of, I think he must have cut all contact with everybody because we were chatting the other day and Molly had knocked me off Facebook. And the reason she'd knocked me off Facebook is she'd knocked everybody off Facebook.
Oh, right.
And I was like, okay. It's like,
I think he went back to Welsh Wrestling, if I remember right. He got offered,
didn't he?
Yeah, he got offered, so many gigs.
Yeah.
And he said, "Boss, I got to take it." Like I said, "Yeah, carry on." You know what I mean, but
I think he was on fairly good money at those shows as well.
yeah. So I think he was on shows with him and Bolton and a kid and all that.
Yeah.
But what would you say was your most favourite show and your worst show with Celtic?
Most favourite show is going to be the surprise end of the system for that moment with Sweet Sugar because I just love that match.
Yeah.
And I think the show was really strong overall as well. Obviously, I loved our match with winning the title as well.
Yeah,
So it's between those two. But I think as a show overall, Surprise was one of our best.
Yeah.
And then worst show was the one with would be the one with me and El Psycho where Mad Dog Max ripped me apart afterwards.
Where was it? What one? You had a couple of matches outside, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was up in the studio bar in the upstairs bit.
Oh,
and
shit all.
yeah. Mad Dog had the wrong people in his ear at the time,
right?
And we had a bit of a disagreement going at that time anyway. Because I say, I've always had a real soft spot for Mad Dog. He's one of my favourite guys and favourite wrestlers, and so Cayman before we go out for this match, he's slapping El Psycho in the face like this, and El Psycho's just getting redder and redder and redder, and like they're nose to nose with each other, and I'm thinking, Christ, guys, we're going out in a minute. Yeah. So we do the first bit, and I think again, it's one of my rear chin lock moments where Sykes goes to me, "I've forgotten everything, mate."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
I remember that. Like.
So we only got about one thing right in that whole match, and it just fell apart. And it wasn't Sykes' fault. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
It's just came and blew his head before we went out there. So I come into the backstage area straight into Mad Dog Max, and he just like, what do you think you're doing? That was absolutely awful. You were blah, 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 blah. And they're thinking, oh my God. I just got told dressing down.
It should have been up to him to tell you, shouldn't it? It should have been the key man, like I would have thought on that one, like, but nothing against him. Like you said, he's probably thinking of you and trying to help you. Or,
yeah, exactly. I think it possibly came from the right place, but he didn't need to tell me. I was aware it was a shit fest.
But so was that the end of wrestling then? Was you involved in Welsh, what's it called?
Welsh wrestling. No,
PPW, what's it? Well, it was Welsh wrestling by him, wasn't it?
yeah, no,
Nothing back there.
No, I
It's just-
think in my head, Bass, the way I was thinking about it was, like I say, I always want to have
Yeah.
that goal that what we're doing is going to get somewhere. Now, with Welsh wrestling, they don't have. Alan hasn't got the mindset that he wants to do TV and have storylines and all that kind of thing. So there was never any point in me being involved in that. It's just him putting shows in front of kids and picking up a paycheck. And that's fine. That's what he wants to do. I got no problem with that.
Do the same match every night, like, you know.
Yeah,
But it's a
exactly.
business, isn't it?
Exactly. He's running it purely as a live business that makes him money. With us, we
We tried to
We
be in
almost got-
WWE with me.
and we would get, we had interest. I know Boomerang, who were making stuff for BBC and ITV, were interested in doing something with us,
Yeah.
but they couldn't get the network TV execs to take us on board.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Well, it's like the One Man Riot documentary. I don't know if you've ever seen it. When the Italian come down, didn't he? They were down for months, and they filmed over 50 hours. Everyone, they were going everywhere.
yeah,
And then I think they got it down to 51 minutes, the final one.
Yeah.
And BBC Wales, they wanted 29 minutes, and they refused them. Because, I mean, they just got 50 hours down to 51 minutes.
yeah.
It's hard, and if you're a director,
Well, you're not going to tell us.
you can't do it. So they stuck to their guns, and they never got nowhere. But, which is a shame, but
Get it out on Amazon Prime now, mate. You can self-publish now. You don't.
I
need
can't
to,
do enough. That's the book in here. But I tried contacting one of the film directors the other day, and he said Faxon own the films, Faxon in London, and they got about 50 hours of Celtic footage, and they filmed everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, as life goes on, and
Well, if you ever get the footage, let me know. I'm sure I can do something with
like I
it.
said, looking back at Chaos the other day, it was pretty good. I mean, the way it all come together, and it was scripted, and with the technology we got today now, we could do something amazing, like.
Yeah.
But wherever it'll happen, do you ever think Celtic will get going again one day? Or do you think it's done? It should be nailed now and finished.
I think we deserve one last show. I think what I would do personally, and of course I don't own Celtic, so this ball is not in my court.
Yeah.
But as we've got Pro Wrestling Carnage starting up, I would use some of the boys from that combined with some of our older talent and maybe some of the NXT UK boys.
Yeah.
And I would do a one-off filmed super show as our way of saying goodbye. Like I say, one last bang.
Yeah.
And I think
Me came and I've talked about it because people asked one last reunion show, and I think we're on 99 shows.
Yeah.
And it'll be the 100th show, and
Yeah.
it would be a way to go out. But then, like I said, it came in, if we're going to do if we're going to get insurance for one show, when we get insurance for 12 shows. And then he's like, so it's up in the air at the moment. I mean, I still own all the belts, and even though I haven't got them, I got to get them back off the wrestlers. So who knows one day, innit? But
I know.
The thing is, John, could any of us do it?
Oh yeah.
I think it'd take me a month to loosen up and get in the gym before, if I could do anything. But
You don't even have to have a full match, Bass. All you've got to do is run in and spear someone.
I think that'd be my lot.
That'd be fine. Everyone will go wild for that. But, obviously, the guys at home probably can't see what we've got directly to the left of us. Can you imagine a wrestling ring sat in the middle of that, and then filmed and put out on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Oh, it would, going from the wrestling then, he was involved in some sort of comedy club or comedy film productions.
Yeah, old Clipboard I went from there, because I wanted
Clipboard, that's the one.
Yes, I wanted to, I desperately wanted to keep some kind of creativity going. I didn't want to completely lose that side of myself. So I joined an acting class.
Right.
And I met a few guys through the acting class. And my head goes the same way that it always goes. Okay, this is great, but how do I push this to the next level and the next level and the next level? So that's when we did. I wrote, directed, filmed, and produced Fairy Dust.
Yeah.
Which you were in.
Which I made. I can show you a clip there right now.
Get your fucking hands off me!
Now don't come back, you little fucker!
Which is absolutely. I still love that. I think that's probably my favourite bit of the whole thing. That and there's a section with Robin Hood. So the basic premise is a load of like cartoon, I suppose, characters, like characters of yore, all live in a house share together, and it's a sitcom and comedy ensues. Bassy surprisingly plays a bouncer dressed in a whole wolf's outfit. I've got a funny story about that. I'm not sure whether you remember this, Bass.
Go on.
Right. So Bass puts the outfit on, and he goes up to my mate Andy and goes, "What's this?" And he's got this black thing by here. He put the suit on back to front, so the tail was actually looked like he had a penis. And Andy goes, "Do you know what, mate? That's funny. I like that. Leave it like that."
You're like, right. I don't know you talking in depth into that one, like, you know what I mean? But,
it's my favourite bit of that.
There's fun, isn't it?
There's another outtake of you guys at the end where Death Row is sat with you
on a table,
and you're both in the kitchen, and you turn to him and you go, you go, "Oh, do you fancy a cuppa?" And he goes, "Woo!" And he's like, "Oh, you just got no sense of humour." Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah,
you was up for awards over the clipboard. We were going places,
we were going places. We did Cardiff Comedy Festival. We did a sort of live multimedia show there. We had the YouTube channel, which was doing all right.
Yeah.
One of the videos has got like 10,000 viewers or something like that. I actually got our stuff in front of the BBC's creative head of comedy.
All right, right.
So I managed to get him to watch our DVD, and he sent us feedback. Of what he wanted us to do. So I was like, "Oh, brilliant! You know, all we got to do is follow what this guy wants us to do. We might actually do this." And then it just fell apart, mate. It was. So we were heading towards the second Cardiff Comedy Festival event. So my plan was, we would film a load of new content as per the brief that this guy had given us that we could make into a DVD. We'd do the second live show, and we also had a comedic theatre show that we were going to put on because there was three of us who were kind of in charge, Mike, me and Gez. And Mike was a theatre guy. He wasn't really into all this filming stuff. He wanted to have a theatre show. So okay, you want a theatre show? We'll do a theatre show. And we were going to be outside the Wales Millennium Centre. We had this incredible thing that we were going to be doing it in. And I just had no support. Like, Gaz wasn't interested in the theatre show. Mike wasn't interested in doing any of the filming stuff. And it just got to a point where it was like, well, we're not going to do anything then, are we? And the opportunity kind of passed us by. You know, Gaz said to me, "I think what we need to do is go back to what we said we were going to do, which is you produce, I write, and Mike directs." And I'm like, "Well, I kind of want to write, mate. I kind of enjoy writing." So he had a knee injury, and I went round his house to see him, and I said, "Look, I know we're going in this new direction, but if I can't do my stuff in clipboard, I'm going to have to do it outside of clipboard." And he never really spoke to me ever again after that. It wasn't like a shouting match or anything. It's just like the friendship just kind of ceased. It was really weird.
So what did you do then? Was you? I know you got into gaming and all that.
Yeah, well, we went to London for a bit. I joined London Comedy Writers, and it was that was really good for me because they used to. You'd meet up every week, and they would read scripts out, and like actors would act them out. And the stuff that I had been told wasn't good enough for clipboard, I was having read out in London, and they were loving it. And that built my confidence back up again. So then we did the film Retail, which is the one that went and won all the awards across the world. Marina Del Rey in Los Angeles was probably the biggest one, best international film.
What was it called?
Retail.
Anyone watch that anyway?
Yeah, it's all on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so Retail's on Amazon Prime, and 3 of my other films are on Amazon Prime as well. So
what's the names of them, man?
So there's Rory and Ray. Apples and Mucky Pup. Mucky Pup isn't actually mine, it's a lady called Nina's, but I did the directing on it. So they're all there to watch.
And they're all comedy films.
Retail's a drama, Apples and Rory and Ray are comedy, and then Mucky Pup is sort of like a horror thriller one. So there's a variety on there. And then the gaming stuff came as largely due to COVID, because I was sent home from work because I thought I was going to be one of the shielding lot. So all of a sudden I just had all this time, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to go back and try and beat games that I couldn't beat when I was a kid. So I just did these 6 episodes, and I was going to put them up on Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime were like, no, we don't want them. I'm like, have you seen some of the crap? Like, if you type gaming into it, there's like a gaming guy who's like a talking orange. And I'm just like, and then I realised what it was, is that they thought crap was a swear word.
Oh, right,
Which to you and me, like, I've never thought crap as a swear word in my life. But yeah, that's why they wouldn't put it on there. So I put them out on YouTube instead, and then me and a couple of my mates decided to sort of make a thing of it, and we've the 53rd video went out on Saturday.
The episodes then?
They vary massively because we do all kinds of different stuff. Like,
and what's it called on YouTube, man? How would they get to see you?
So it's called Console Yourself. We are going to have a little rebranding soon, but I'm waiting for a trademark to come through before, again, because I've got bigger ideas of what I want to do with everything, as I invariably always do. You know, we're going to have some exciting stuff coming.
What's the picture I seen on your Facebook page? I have been stalking. 2019, won award at Cyprus.
Yeah.
What was that for?
So that was Retail who was nominated for an award, and I wanted to go to a festival, and I said I basically messaged them and said, look, I know you've got a load of people doing talks on stuff. I've been studying artificial intelligence for pretty much the last 2 years. How do you fancy me coming and giving a little speech on that? So I jetted out to Cyprus, and then we were staying in Ayia Napa, and then we would drive. We would drive to Nicosia, and then I did my speech in front of an audience, kind of thing, which was very well received. And then went and saw my film being shown, and it was great. It was awesome.
Oh, that's good. So you're always active. You always got your mind working, haven't you? So
I'm the same as you, Bass. I mean, look at yourself. You've had Valley Adventures. You've had multiple books.
Something different every week.
You've had the wrestling, metal detecting, you know, all the forts.
Paedophile hunting.
Yeah, paedophile hunting, which is
I don't
awesome.
stop, like. But
You're very much the same, and Caitlin's exactly the same. We're all very much in the same kind of ilk.
I find if I go quiet, I don't get depression, but I got to keep my mind going active constantly. So when I go from here now, I'll be thinking of something else tonight now. I'm doing something else. I don't feel the same like that.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. When I finish here, I'm going to go home, and I've got footage to record for the next gaming vid. So that's what I'll be doing.
Exactly, yeah. So it keeps your mind active, innit?
Exactly.
But before we wrap up, go back to wrestling again. What do you think of the current Welsh wrestling scene? Obviously COVID-wise, but COVID's nearly over now. What do you think of it at the moment?
Well, I went to see the NXT UK show in the Motorpoint, and I thought...
The 2 day, is it?
Yeah, I saw day one. I saw the...
I went to the second day, I did.
I saw the one with Walter and... oh God, what's his name?
Dunn.
Moustache Man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, how's that gone out of my head? What a match that was. And I saw the Welsh boys, Andrews, winning the
titles,
winning the tag titles. So that was awesome. It was so nice to see what we kind of hoped for. It's actually there being done.
To go from, you know, little club shows, innit? 100 people in. And there they are in Motorpoint Arena.
Exactly.
WWE, like.
And you know, so a lot of the guys that are on there, you know, were cutting their teeth in all Celtic, and it's nice. It's a warm, fuzzy feeling that we, you know.
I think with Celtic it was a different time. You know what I mean? Because it's like the boys in their prime. I'm talking about the likes of, you know, Cade, Callis, Chris Recall. if it was today, Mad Dog Marks, K-Man,
Yeah.
they should all be on NXT UK.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think they're better promos and better characters than,
That's what I mean, the
than
characters
some,
and,
some of the guys that are on there. I think they do very well. I think I do very well on there.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, you know, I'm proud of the guy. I mean, bloody Eddie Dennis. You know, his stuff that he's doing at the moment. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
He got some good new promos going on, hasn't he?
And he's I suppose I shouldn't say this because it goes against Garrett, but he's a nice dude.
Yeah.
I got a lot of respect for those guys.
Yeah, he was alright. They said all them boys were good guys, didn't they?
Yeah, they were lovely. They were just lovely lads.
We won't go to the bad guys. We'll keep that for a different episode.
Yeah.
Would you ever get involved in some way again? I think I may have asked you that later.
Yeah, so
if it was, you just said about Pro Carnage.
Yeah, I'm quite excited because.
So who's running Pro Carnage?
So it's Beers and Beatdowns are running.
It's them pair.
Yeah,
there's no one else.
Not as far as I'm aware.
Just them pair, right?
So I'm quite excited because outside of what I've seen in NXT UK, I don't know what the Welsh wrestling scene's like anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be seeing people who I've never seen perform before. I'm really excited to see what they've got.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully I can impart some of my, you know, my character building skills and all that kind of thing onto them and help them out in that way if I can.
Yeah.
They may all
I
be
think
amazing.
we've all been, you know what I mean, with this COVID, we've all been locked up so much. You know what I mean? If it was a show at the end of my street now, I'm going to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Pro Carnage, I mean, and two good boys, isn't they?
Yeah.
So I think they do well. They got their heads screwed on. And it'd be interesting to see what they can pull off, like.
Yeah, I mean...
so you're going to be the managing director of...
I am going to be the managing Pro Carnage, but I'm going to have turned over a new leaf, Bass.
And it's not been nothing to do with the system.
No.
New leaf, yeah, right.
I'm a changed man. I've mellowed out. You know, I just want to help people, Bass.
What would have been your dream match if you ever had a chance? You know, wrestler from the past, live or dead?
Kurt Angle. Well, even
Kurt
blinking,
Angle.
it would be Kurt Angle. I just thought Kurt had everything. In terms of a collective, like there may be better people who are promos. It's arguable if you can find anyone who's better at him than wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
But as a total package, I don't think there's been anyone better.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to a Celtic wrestling question here because I see the picture last night, totally forgot about it, and I can't remember in the past. And it's a woman smashing you across the head, I think, with your belt.
Yeah.
Cheerleader
Melissa.
Cheerleader Melissa, and she's fighting Awesome Kong, and she.
Yeah.
So, how was you involved with that? Was that part of the system, or was it?
No, that was I.
You got the interactive title of that.
Yeah,
stage.
I was the champ, so the system would have been gone by that point.
Yeah,
I wanted to help raise the profile of Celtic, so I'd hired in a professional film crew who did me over.
Yeah.
I brought in Cheerleader Melissa and Awesome Kong as a kind of feature match. And my idea was that it was going to lead to me versus Cheerleader Melissa down the line.
Right.
The only problem being is that she took my promo very, very seriously.
Right.
So my first contact with Cheerleader Melissa was her pretty much caving my head in. As hard as she possibly.
So what do you say about her? Or
what's that?
What did you say about her for her to take it serious? Like,
I basically it was one of those old school women don't belong in wrestling.
So she had something to prove then, and
yeah. So you know, and it's just a promo. It's not the first time I've had though.
She alright after all.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought that there was a problem. I only found out because I just thought she hit really stiff. I didn't complain about it. I just thought she hit really stiff.
Yeah.
It was only later on down the line that because my sister knew Doug Williams,
right,
and she'd spoken about this arsehole who cut this promo to Doug Williams.
Did she go on anywhere? To make it?
I think she trains NXT UK guys now.
She?
Yeah, obviously Kong's in, or was in AEW.
Yeah, yeah.
I loved Awesome Kong. She was lovely.
Yeah,
I don't-
she's nice, wasn't
I'm
she?
surprised because obviously she went in. I know she went into WWE and then got pregnant and then
Yeah, she
came
had
back
new
and then.
energy, yeah.
But it's never seemed to kind of work out for her, which is a real shame because she was a really nice lady.
Did you ever go on the piss with any of the wrestlers? Like Kate bottom over?
Yeah, Eugene.
Eugene,
Poor
yeah.
old Eugene. Well, not poor old Eugene. Poor old Eugene's missus.
Yeah.
Oh, and we did Flaming Sambuca's first time she'd ever had them.
Oh, no.
She was like that on her chair.
Oh, where was that, Cardiff?
Yeah. It was me, Eugene, Matt Vaughan, and probably a splattering of other people.
Yeah.
God, I wish he wasn't involved in so many things.
Oh,
It makes it hard for me to like bleep his name out.
Exactly.
That's what you should do. Is every time I say his name, just
Yeah.
like put one of those old school like bleeps.
Or prick. Right. Anything on your bucket list for the future? Any plans? What are you going to do?
Yeah, so this is, I suppose, an exclusive of sorts. We're going to be doing a game-based quiz show
Right.
on Amazon Prime, hopefully. We're going to be filming that in
Right.
August.
All right,
That's
yeah.
going to be filmed here, and it's going to look lovely. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the comical name of it is going to be called Wheel of Cheese.
Wheel of cheese.
Yeah, which if anyone does go onto our gaming YouTube channel, it'll start to make more sense if you watch the Story of Thor video. We're just laughing in this game
Yeah.
that like to get your health back, you had
Right.
to eat an entire wheel of cheese.
Yeah.
So whoever wins.
They're random, but
yeah, it's such a
yeah.
weird thing. Just like, oh, I'm feeling, I've just had my arm cut off. Well, give me that massive wheel of cheese, and that'll make me better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be good fun.
Oh, good stuff. Just quick fire round to finish.
Yeah.
I check a name of you. Give me a couple of words.
Yep.
Thunderbolt Tommy D.
Nutter. But I love him.
Tyler Brown.
Funny dude. But needs to start taking himself less seriously.
I know. He's getting old now, see you need.
Old and grumpy.
He's 2 years older than me. Chris
I
Eagle.
One of the most natural talents you'd ever likely to see. I know that's more than one word. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Mad Dog Max.
Veteran.
Kid Carlos.
Talent.
Johnny the Body.
Easy.
T-Bone.
Specimen.
Sweet Sugar Steve Bassi.
Running buddy.
Madman Manson.
Genius. Shame. It's a shame he didn't go further.
Yeah. Spam.
Oh, God. It's another person I've been arguing with recently. Good guy.
Mike Bird.
Oh, again, what a talent. What a talent. And again, I kind of feel like he deserves better, deserves more. Should be in NXT UK properly, like all the time, because he's great.
Method of Madness.
I love those boys. Nice dudes. Really, really quality guys.
Chris Perfect.
What would I go for? Skilled.
Captain Jack Swallows. Not Psycho, Swallows.
Duck.
Death Row.
Great gimmick. What a gimmick.
The Ghost Dynasty.
Inferior.
The System.
Superior. Eat that, Darren Goss.
I'll be that one. Titan.
Machine. He is a machine. It's the nickname is correct. What a body on that man.
Danny Owens.
Smurf. He'll always be Smurf.
Smurf to us, isn't it?
He'll always be Papa Smurf.
K-Man.
What? Charismatic.
Right, thank you, John. It's been a pleasure, mate. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming
mate.
on, mate. And,
No worries.
all the best for the future.
Take care.
Right, thanks, mate.